What do you think of when the freedom of slaves is mentioned? The Emancipation Proclamation. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. Wrong. The 13th Amendment freed the slaves. The Emancipation Proclamation only freed slaves in Confederate states, which were the ones still at war with the Union. They were Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. Since it was a wartime order, it could be changed by future presidential proclamations, congressional legislation, or a court ruling. Only a constitutional amendment could make the abolition of slavery permanent throughout all of the U.S. Well then, how did the U.S. pass the 13th Amendment? To understand this, let's go back to the Civil War. After the First Battle of Bull Run in 1861, which was the first major battle of the Civil War, slavery started to be viewed differently, and people thought of it as something that created conflict and war. Lincoln realized that it was foolish to waste so much time and resources on a war and not eliminate slavery. It's timeline time! On April 8, 1864, the Senate passed the 13th Amendment by a vote of 38-6. On June 5th, the House of Representatives defeated the 13th Amendment by a vote of 93 in favor, 65 opposed, and 23 not voting, which is less than the two-thirds majority needed. On December 6th, Lincoln was trying to convince his Democratic House buddies to switch their vote. Obviously, something worked, because on January 31st, the House passed the 13th Amendment. On December 18th, the 13th Amendment was ratified. But what exactly is the 13th Amendment? Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the U.S., or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Section 2. Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. The 13th Amendment was part of the Reconstruction Amendments alongside the 14th and 15th Amendments, which served the purpose of guaranteeing freedom to former slaves and to establish and prevent discrimination in civil rights to former slaves and to all citizens of the United States. The 13th Amendment was the beginning of many changes for African American citizens and everyone in the United States. It was the catalyst to a true, equal, and free country. As Nelson Mandela once said, "For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others." The 13th Amendment was the beginning of this and made true freedom possible in the United States. Thanks for watching, and keep on studying. Created by Abrill.